Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm going to do a little bit of a rundown today of the RC cars I've got, a little bit of a garage tour if you will, showing you where I'm at right now. I just got into the hobby almost a year ago, just been learning as I go. It's been a lot of fun. It's a really addicting hobby for sure. I've been trying a lot of different things, trying everything I can to figure out what I like and what I'm into. So we'll just jump right into it. I did a video on this thing almost a year ago when I first built it, but it wasn't the best video in the world, so this probably won't be either, but it gives you an idea. The reason I'm starting with this one is this was my first. This is an Axial SCX 10.2. Running the Injora 4-door JK Jeep hardbody. If you've been on the internet, you've seen these. The doors all open and everything. It takes a lot of trimming to get it on the SCX 10.2 chassis. This one started out as the RTR version with the gray XJ Jeep Cherokee body. Everybody knows that body. It's super common. I run mostly Injora parts just because I'm 2 hours from my local hobby shop, if you can call it local, and then it just makes things easy to get. Parts are fairly reasonable that way, and I've had basically really good luck with everything I've bought from Amazon and under the Injora name brand and everything. It's running the Injora metal bead locks. These are Proline, I believe. Tires. They're a BF Goodrich Mud Terrain TA replica. The reason I built this Jeep to look like this is I have a full scale 1-to-1, as some guys call them, with the same decal on the hood. I take the full-size Wrangler to car shows and car cruises and things like that, and I just wanted something kind of based on that. My real one is actually just a 2-door. I bought this because it's what I could get a hold of. But I do have plans in the future to build a 2-door so that's more exact, like an exact replica of mine. But otherwise, this is basically based on my actual Jeep. But it's just been a lot of fun. I've just been learning as I go. The correct mounts that you can get for these would not require the Jeep being cut up quite as much. Struggling with this a little bit. I'm running magnetic mounts. I'm running the original body mounts that came with that Jeep. But obviously it took some pretty serious cutting to get things to work, as you can see in there. But I wasn't going for exact scale. It's just supposed to kind of look like my actual Jeep, and it's all for fun. I'm not planning on putting it at any shows competition wise or anything. It's just something fun I like to mess around with. Otherwise, it is bone stock. It is running a 35 kg servo and a metal servo horn. Off of Amazon. I've had good luck with that. There's been some other channels on the internet that have showed using those, and they've been really good. No problems at all there. So we'll jump right into the next vehicle. Show you guys what we got here. The next one I bought came out just shortly after I learned or was getting into the RC. Is the Axial Capra 4-wheel steer version. This thing is bone stock, 100% except for the wheels and tires. I still have the original wheels and tires. I just wanted something a little more custom, and these tires seem to grip good. They're actually just an off-brand Mudslinger 1.9, again, Injora bead locks. But they're a nice soft tire. I just use the foams that came with them, and otherwise than that, that thing is bone stock. Those are awesome out of the box. They're really a lot of fun. We'll go on to our next one here. Doing this by myself, so it takes a minute. This is my Arrma Senton. I've started messing around with a little bit of track stuff. This actually started out as the 550 Mega brushed version with the blue and white body. As you can see, this body has had the heck trimmed out of it. My dad bought a Traxxas Max that he was having a lot of fun messing with both me, and then I have a 4-year-old son that's into this hobby too, that's more into just the bashing stuff. I trimmed that big body and ran the Arma Granite wheels on it, which are substantially bigger than this, for quite a while. Kept going for more and more power. Ended up switching to a couple different brushless motors. The Spectrum Firma, I think my first one was like a 3200 kV. I did a couple different ones of those, dealt with some ratcheting and things like that, and finally ended up landing on this one. We broke some shafts off of a couple of the first motors too, but ended up with the Spectrum Firma 2200 kV motor with the, I believe it's a 5mm shaft. It doesn't step down, and I was having issues with a lot of those breaking, so I went to this, and it holds up to 3S. This thing has had the heck beat out of it. It is running, it's not Injora, it's Arcat is the name of it. It's sold on Amazon, metal parts for the Arma stuff, all metal gears inside of the transmission, and then obviously the aluminum transmission housing itself makes things a little bit tougher. I did have to go to metal drive shafts. I was tearing up U-joints on 3S, but otherwise than that, it's all stock components. As far as the actual suspension itself, still running stock shocks. It still works. I mean, this has been tough, definitely. Another one of those 35 kg, just no-name steering servos that you can get off of Amazon. And then I had a track day coming up, and I was messing around with this truck, so I ended up buying the 3S BLX body. It's just a direct fit, and it's just a fun body to have on there. Just switch up the color to something different. Otherwise than that, it's just bone stock. The next one that was bought actually at the same time as that Senton is the 550 Granite Mega 550. This is my 4-year-old son's, and this thing has had a tough time of it. They get a beating with the little kid. It had the normal 550 brush motor. We were having issues with it getting hot, and it finally quit. I tried running the cooling fan and heat sink on the factory motor that is still in there right now. Ran that for a while. It still overheated. Went to a Traxxas Titan motor of the same size. That lasted a little while, and then it finally gave up too. And just like you said, when you've got a young operator, they can be tough on things. So most recently, this one got the Spectrum Firma 3300 kV motor, and this is the, I think it's 105 amp ESC. You can get it as a kit on Amazon. I ended up throwing that in this one, and then we're just keeping him on 2S. I did go into the programming, turn the punch down and all that, so I don't have it where it's just crazy fast. It's something that he can handle. It's really a fun little truck for him. And then obviously it's a platform that can be built on over time. But so far we are still running the factory pinion and spur gear. That other one I went to the 3S BLX slipper clutch assembly. This one's still running the 2S. And back to that Senton over there. We ran 3S through that original 2S slipper clutch and gear assembly for quite a while until it finally destroyed the spur gear. But it did go for quite a while, I will admit that. But this one, we're just keeping it on 2S. We've once or twice pushed 3S through it, but you can definitely tell you're pushing things a little harder than you should. And we'll go to my last full-size one. This is kind of a fun little project that I've messed around with. This is my most recent one I got this summer. This is my Traxxas Bandit. It started out, as many will recognize, the Bandit VXL brushless version that's in the white and purple and green color scheme. I'll definitely be putting that body back on it eventually. My kids like to do what our church calls trunk or treat, and our theme this year is going to be Toy Story. And I ended up getting just a bare body from Traxxas for my Bandit, painted it that green color, and then I've got an old graphics machine. It's actually behind me right here. And I made kind of the splash decals. It's not exactly like RC from the Toy Story movie. If you've seen that, obviously most of us that are into this RC hobby have seen that. But it was just something it's supposed to be kind of based on. It's just fun, a little detail to add to our display. And took headlight buckets and made the little eyes that make him kind of look like a character, and then the little pin tires and the red wheels. It's probably not going to be good for performance at all, but otherwise this thing is bone stock. It does have metal bumper on it, and then the metal horns for the shock towers, I should say. But it's really a fun little car the way it sits. This is basically clothes for display, basically. I mean, the body you can tear around with it, but these wheels, they definitely need to be glued. They were a cheap set I found on Amazon just because of the color, basically. And they were like 20 bucks. It's no big deal. So I do have a couple SCX 24s that have all metal parts on them, a lot of upgrades. I will have to get those out for another video. I live in Iowa, so this winter we will be kind of stuck in the, indoors basically. So there'll probably be some messing around, crawling with the small trucks and that. I can do a little bit of a, updates when we're doing things with the trucks, different upgrades and that. But I wanted to give a kind of a little mini garage tour and show you guys where we are to begin with, so you know where I'm at. So otherwise than that, I appreciate you watching. Thank you. And if any of you have any questions, and I'm open to suggestions, I'm still very new at this hobby and have a lot of fun doing it. So thank you very much.